This lesson's about mice and trackpads, which aren't necessarily evil. Lest you get the impression I hate mice and trackpads, nothing could be further from the truth. When you need to move the cursor, the mouse or trackpad is usually more useful than the keyboard, and nothing beats them for moving stuff around on the screen. Now that being said, for the most part, the more you can keep your fingers on the keyboard, the faster you'll get things done. So, it's not that I hate mice or trackpads, I just try to use them in moderation, and only when necessary. Now, if you use a trackpad, you'll be more productive if you master all of its gestures. So, unless you already have them all memorized, launch System Preferences, click the trackpad icon, and start hovering your cursor over the gestures in the list on the left one at a time. Then look to the right as you hover, and watch the tutorial movie about that gesture. Repeat until you've seen them all, and don't forget to look at all three tabs, point and click, scroll and zoom, and more gestures. There is one more thing. If you see a little inverted caret to the right of an item, like the one on the right of the scroll left or right with two fingers item, click on it to see other options for that gesture. I admit, I'm still not a huge fan of the trackpad. When I travel, I'm mostly resigned to using it because it's built into both of my laptops, and that's convenient. Still, I've been known to throw a mouse and keyboard into my suitcase for long trips. For what it's worth, I think the trackpad is at least as efficient as a mouse, maybe more efficient. But I'm old and set in my ways and have used a mouse for so long that I just haven't been able to make the switch totally. At least not yet, but I'm going to keep trying. Moving right along, a long time ago, I didn't even care for mice. I was a dyed-in-the-wool trackball fanatic. I was lured back to the way of the rodent when I reviewed the $99 Logitech MX Master mouse, which turned out to be the best mouse I've ever used. The controls are totally configurable using the included Logitech Options software, and here's what each control is and what I use it for. First, the Smart Shift, which is great, scroll wheel. It's speed adaptive and it switches between click-to-click precision mode and free spin ultra-fast mode, depending on how quickly you flick the wheel. There's nothing else like it. It lets me breeze through long documents quickly and easily. And as a bonus, the scroll wheel is also a mouse button, and I use it to trigger one of my favorite utilities called Menu Mate, which puts the menu bar right where I click. It's $5. It's awesome, especially if you have 2 or 3 monitors. I have 2. Now, the Mode Shift button lets you switch between the click-to-click and free spin modes manually if you care to. Mouse button number 1, mine's a regular or left click. Mouse button 2, a right or control click. Mouse button 3, a thumb-activated button that's super handy. Mine's configured as an option click, which hides the current Windows or application when I click anything else. Option click anything else. The side wheel, I use mine to navigate between the tabs in web browsers and Finder windows, but like all of the buttons, you can configure it to do almost anything you like, including brightness control, horizontal scrolling, showing and hiding notifications, and many others. Now these 2 buttons, they function as the forward and back buttons, and I press them dozens of times a day in my web browser and in the Finder. I admit a $100 mouse sounds a little outrageous, but it's a superbly crafted mouse with many other best-of-class features, not the least of which is its dark field laser sensor, which tracks almost perfectly on any surface, including highly reflective surfaces that would choke most other mice. I think that's about enough for rodents for now. Moving right along, in our next lesson, we'll explore a related subject, why you should learn to use keyboard shortcuts to reduce your dependency on the mouse. Onward!